Action.
Good to be here. Great to be here. And once again, I mean, I guess I just got to remember to think of something since you always throw the ball to my court. And
I could be a guy that directs himself. Those idiots. It's like action, and I just start talking.
Name the only little movie trivia. Have we ever had movie trivia on here?
I don't think so.
Name the only actor who has directed himself into winning Best Actor.
Oh, let's see. I think we did talk about this.
I don't know. On the pod?
I think you said this on the podcast.
Well, I'm doing it again.
Wait, who did I just watch? Oh, somebody was making a case. I don't want to talk about it because if they hear this, they'll be mad because I was annoyed.
Okay.
But somebody was making a case that a performance was better because the performer directed it. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. Okay, it's not Charlie Chaplin.
Nope.
Because he's comedies never get Best Actor. Try to think. Mel Gibson did not win for Braveheart, although he won everything else.
You're doing well already, because usually people immediately go, Mel Gibson, Woody Allen, but you're like, these people didn't win.
Well, Woody certainly never won an Oscar for acting, although he's been nominated the most for writing.
And he's done some great performances lately when he's like, I didn't have sex with my daughter.
All right, you said actor, so it's a man.
Yes. Well, or I'm being woke. No, it's a man.
Of course it's a man because it's a great accomplishment. Okay, it's not Denzel.
No.
It's not all right, is it in the last 25 years?
Wait, what was 25 years ago? What was the year? It was in the 90s.
Oh, it was in the 90s. Well, I know every Best Picture in the 90s.
Well, then you should fucking know this. But it's
Kevin Costner?
No, he didn't win a Best Actor.
Okay, so 1990 was it's Unforgiven. It's Unforgiven.
He didn't win Best Actor.
Wait, Rain Man was 88.
I'm saying you're going Rain Man. You're going to list all the
91 is Silence of the Lambs, so that's a no. 92 is Unforgiven.
Yeah. We understand the thing. He directed himself into winning Best Actor.
I know. I'm going.
Okay. I just want to make sure you have it right.
All right. So it's not Braveheart. It's not Forrest Gump. It's not The English Patient.
This is a tough one because I think a lot of people forget it because it's kind of embarrassing a little.
It's not American Beauty.
No.
Oh, it must be 99. What was that bullshit? Gladiator?
I'll give you a hint. You're being very American centric right now.
Oh, Life is Beautiful.
Yes. Roberto Benigni. Yes.
Oh, I'm going through Best. I don't know why I'm going through Best Picture.
That's what I'm saying. Best Actor. Yeah. Well, but it also won Best Director. I think.
Life is Beautiful did?
I think so. Yeah. Did you see that movie?
Yes. That was the year he beat somebody because they showed that somebody who was mad about it because he was just going crazy and jumping on the seats. And I remember them showing an actor who was like, ugh.
Also funny that he's jumping on the seats because it was a Holocaust movie. Like, but he's like a comedian, so like when he wins, he still goes all like, "Hey, I won!" Like he's still trying to do like a Will Ferrell acceptance speech, even though it's a Holocaust movie.
Wait, what was that guy's name again?
Roberto Benigni.
Roberto Benigni, that's right. And it beat because that was the year of God. What was the other big movie that won Best Picture that year?
I don't remember, but it's a ballsy thing he did. You couldn't do it now. He's like, I'm going to make a comedy about the Holocaust, and I'm not Jewish.
Right.
And it won like Best Director, Best Actor. Yeah.
Yeah. Back then it was like, that was no big whoop. You could just do that shit.
Yeah. But like Takina Badida, the Jojo Rabbit, that's kind of like a comedy, but he's a fucking Jew.
I thought that movie was so fucking overrated.
So stupid.
Like wildly overrated.
Well, it was so stupid to me. Like, to me, I want to see a movie. Like if the kid was older and he really believed this Nazi shit, and then he met this girl who was hiding and he was conflicted, it would have been interesting. But that kid is so clearly not into the Nazi shit.
Right.
You're just waiting for him to like give up all the Nazi shit. He's not really into it. So there's not that much of an interesting like conflict.
That's just a great point. It just felt like a very like, I don't want to be like these millennials, but it just felt like a very like 21st century Nazi. Yes. Like these are friendly, fun, cute Nazis. And also, you know, I don't want to sound like a woke asshole, but like the idea of like the end of it being like, you never know, so just keep trucking because you're great. And I'm like, you're kind of like omitting like this is like the greatest tragedy in human history.
Yeah,
like,
that is
6 million
not.
people were like burned in fucking the ovens, and you're
That's
like,
not the
just keep
takeaway.
smiling.
That's not the
Like,
takeaway.
what?
Exactly. That's not the takeaway from the Holocaust. That's like
Right.
your takeaway should not be like something on a coffee mug, like hey, when life gives you Auschwitzes, make Auschwitz a days.
That's what I thought. And like, I felt like I was the only one saying that. I was like, wait, what? That's a great quote, but it's like a quote about like, your like, dog died and you got fired, not fucking an atrocity. Like they rounded up people by race and murdered them.
Yeah, you chose the wrong movie for that message. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
That'd be funny if his next movie was about like having like your dog runs away, but you find him at the end. But at the end, the message is there is no God. Life is absurd.
Right. Well, and I also feel like, and maybe this is like too scandalous, but I feel like if you made a movie about like cops killing black people, and then at the end you were like, whatever that quote is, that's like, keep your head up because you never
Dance
know.
like nobody's watching.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, I feel like because I'm not saying whatever about rape. I'm just saying like because the Holocaust is now so long ago, they just got away with making a movie where like the end is like her dancing and being like, "Hey, keep smiling, keep shining, because you know life is beautiful."
I mean, I've been saying this for years. You can shit on the Jews still and get away with it for the most part. You know what I mean? You can't do what Mel Gibson did, but like you can. The Jews take that shit. You know, think about Mrs. Maisel right now, right?
Yeah, I've never seen it, but
it's a non-Jewish woman doing a Jewish caricature. Her father is played by Tony Shalhoub, an Arab. Nothing wrong with Arabs, even though I feel like I said it with like a bad emphasis. But there's nothing. But he's doing like a Jewish caricature. Imagine if a Jew was doing an Arab caricature in a movie.
Right.
You know, but the Jews, I don't know. They take it a little. But also like the end of the thing with that movie that's so simplistic. It's like they act like it's all about love versus hate, and you just like we're all about dancing. Remember, that's the whole thing at the end. You just want to enjoy dancing. It's like the Nazis also like to dance. It's not that simple. The Nazis enjoyed dancing and killing Jews. It's not like only good guys dance.
Right. Good point.
These
are great points we're making. I want to get the actual quote because it's a nice quote, but
it's don't let a couple rotten Jews throw away the whole.
It's
one bad Nazi doesn't make.
Oh, this is what it is. It says, "Go to the limits with your longing." It's from "Go to the limits with your longing." Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. That's the end of a movie about Nazis in World War II.
Just keep going.
I just think it's like insane. Of like, let everything happen to you. If they round up all your entire family and they fucking murder them because of their race, just keep going.
And what do you mean no feeling
is final?
What do you mean no feeling is final? When they're in the fucking chamber with the gas and they're like, this is fucked up. That feeling's final.
That'll pass. I mean, like me, I'm like obsessed with Buddhism. I got 10 books here. I mean,
it goes out the window.
Welcoming.
Yeah,
but it's just a weird time for radical acceptance over here, radical compassion.
Well, this Buddhist shit is for us first world people. It's like for us who have to deal with like not real. Once you have real problems, all that shit goes out the window.
Well, I don't agree with that. But if the real problem is being rounded up and murdered,
that you can't read Tit Not Han to deal with. You can't read Tit Not Han in the fucking Auschwitz.
I'm glad you agree because everyone thinks I'm crazy, but I'm like, this is such an asininely tone deaf, and I also hated the comedy. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was
funny. The Hitler's not
goofy.
Funny. It's not funny. Yeah, it sucks.
It also felt a little bit like they were like, what if Hitler was a little bit gay? Isn't that fun? We're taking the teeth out of him by making him like effeminate-ish. I just didn't get it, and I thought it was like...
It was not funny. I don't think anyone actually thinks it's funny. Like, it's just not... I mean, there's that one fat kid who's kind of funny, but it's not like... It was not a funny... Yeah, that I guess that's my ultimate issue. It's like... The emotions don't work for me, and it just also was not funny. Everyone's like, but what about Scarlett Johansson with the shoes and the dead? I'm like, I don't give a shit.
That moved me. I mean,
it's a
when
good shot.
She had been hung. I was like, oh wow! Like I remember, I had a feeling.
But she's still the whole time just being like, "You got the dance," and she's just like, I don't know. She's just annoying, and yeah, it was a bad movie.
I just think, like I said, like that scene of the girl dancing and the kid was cute dancing. It would have worked, like we said, if it was a movie about even if it was like his parents had been killed in a car accident,
Yeah.
and that's what the movie's about, and it was like, hey, no feeling is fine, I'll just keep moving. I just think to kind of ignore the Holocaust in that way, and then just be like, everything's gonna be fine.
Well, it's also
Like,
it's also like to me, it's like like I said, if that kid was older and he was really into Nazi shit, and then this girl came in and he was like, "Fuck, I really like this Nazi shit, but she seems like a human being." It would have been interesting to watch. But what you're watching in that is like the movie's like trying to convince you of shit you already know. It's just like love is good and evil is bad, and you're like, yeah, what? Like it's just so simplistic.
yeah, stupid.
You know?
All right. Well, no one asked about that, but we gave him a good.
Fucking cut this shit out, make it one of the Patreons on Takina, because I love his other movie, the Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I didn't love that either, but
Oh
maybe
my
I was
God.
in a weird mood. I thought
Jeff
it was fine.
Goldblum as a bad guy. I feel like that was just something that no one came to till then. And it was great. I thought
Maybe
it was
that's
so
not
funny.
the one I saw. I saw one where they were out in the woods, kind of.
No. Fuck that shit. Thor Ragnarok's a good one. It's like I hate all Marvel movies. They can all suck my dick. People are like, oh, some of them are actually really good. Yeah, they still ruin cinema. And they're still all, it can't be art if the whole point of it is to just get you to watch the next movie, you know?
Yes.
It's not art, it's a fucking commercial. But that movie is really funny.
All right.
It's
I'll
with
check
Jeff
that one out.
Goldblum. It's like in space.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I saw another one of his that was like in New Zealand. I think.
No. Fuck that shit. This one's really funny. Jeff
All right.
Goldblum's a bad guy and he's like hilarious. It's a legitimately funny like superhero movie.
All right, I got it. I'll check it out.
Let's fucking watch
I mean, I'm
it.
not going to check it out. I don't even know why I'm pretending. I'm not.
I'm gonna watch. But I hate Marvel movies. You should respect my. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's fair, but it's such a limited time on Earth. I got to watch a superhero. That being said, I did watch Goodfellas twice this week, so you know,
yeah.
I'm watching Curb again. But
I know life is short, and people are like, "You should watch this TV show." I'm like, I don't. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna die tomorrow. I don't have time. I'm 49.
I'm gonna die here. I'm like pouring sweat. I turned the AC off. Maybe I'll crack this window. It's like 155 degrees in here.
Jesus, we haven't even gotten to a question.
No, hold on. Oh God. Oh shit! I dropped everything. Oh my God, this is. I'm sweating like a fucking.
I had made it really cold and I was freezing, so I'm actually feeling pretty good now.
All right.
I got central air.
What? You moved to a different city?
No, I just for something that's like a new thing in this apartment, central air. It's pretty amazing. You can see it right there.
Wow. Where did they put it in? Like over the weekend?
No, they've had it this whole time.
You never brought it up?
I mean, I don't want to make you feel bad.
I don't mind. I still got a better house.
I don't want you making, you start acting differently towards me. It's a real status symbol. And
Wait, I want you to move over here. I want to be hanging out with you.
No, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move to Astoria. I just gotta find time. I feel I don't have time. Like, I literally wake up, I drink coffee, I put out a clip, and that takes 42 hours because I have to put subtitles on. Then I do this, and then I go do comedy. I have no time. Like, I gotta find time to move. It's such a hassle.
I don't think you need the subtitles anymore. I think those are out now.
What? I spend like half my life putting subtitles on videos.
I put some clips. I don't know. I think the titles don't matter anymore.
I hope
people
not,
are home. In the old days, people were at work. Now people are home. They can just watch.
It also sucks because some people put the subtitles and like the joke comes before they say it, so it ruins the whole thing.
It's so
That's
bad.
literally, if I do it, I make sure it comes right before as I say it. But if you're doing the subtitles off, that's literally how you destroy a joke. You write down the punchline.
Of course. I watch clips. I cover the bottom. I put my hand over so I don't like to read the thing.
You got to do something new every day. That's like, it has to be blue today and over your face. And there's got to be
this is why I'm failing. This is why I don't sell tickets. I'm not doing clips. I'm posting.
Look at me. I'm not selling
tickets.
tickets either. And I'm doing that. So I'm the worst case scenario.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. All right. We got questions. I wrote down some questions. This is a tough one because a lot of these questions, it's not just enough to write them down. You should think about them, but I didn't think about them. But maybe you'll spark something. We've talked a little bit before. Casting mistakes in otherwise good movies. This is hard. This is up your alley because all you do is watch movies and think how they would be better. Yeah, I just watch movies and go, this is horrible.
No, dude, there's some good, that's a good one, but it's a movie that would otherwise be good besides a catch. I feel like I was just fucking. See, I should have looked at these questions beforehand. I feel like we were talking about one the other day, and I was like, "That's a fucking."
Well, we've talked about De Niro in Casino, and I think
John Turturro that's one of the great. Yeah, De Niro and Sharon Stone both get out of that movie. Who would you? So Turturro.
Well, we
and
talked
then
about Royal Tenenbaums, Ben Stiller, which
Ben
that caused a
Stiller.
stir. People hated that.
That's the one we're talking about. Yes, Ben Stiller is one of the worst cast. Who would have been better than that?
Oh boy,
he's in a whole other movie.
Yeah, that's tough. That's what's hard to come up with. Who would have been better?
I'll tell you.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Maybe Owen Wilson, but just put both the Wilson brothers and make someone else. Well, I guess he's already in the movie though.
He's in the movie, yeah.
Well,
I mean, I thought that too because obviously siblings. There is another Olsen who makes cameos in the movies, but I guess he's not good enough to be in there.
You mean another Wilson? Olsen is the Olsen twins.
Olsen, yeah. There's a few of them. They're great. Do you ever watch Martha Macy, whatever, that horror movie with the other Olsen?
No, I don't know that one.
Oh, dude, it's amazing.
Good?
You'd fucking love it. It's so good.
Is this the one where she's in a cult?
Yes.
I've jacked off to footage of her tits.
Oh, you're a bad person.
Why? What's
Martha,
bad?
Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene.
Why is that bad?
Well, watch the film. I mean, you're a film lover. You can't just you're skipping watching a great movie just to jerk off to it.
I know. There's this movie I jack off to all the time called Blue is the Warmest Color. And
I know that movie.
I can tell it's a good movie. Like I just jack off to those scenes, but I'm like, this looks good. And like I just can tell, but I haven't watched it all just because I keep on just getting stuck to this one part. But you know, I feel bad.
We're talking like miscast. Sometimes I think you as a person is miswritten. It doesn't make sense for you to be a guy that tells everyone what you jerk off to. Like you don't seem like that kind of guy. I think of you as like an intellectual, an artist, very funny person, very smart. And then you're just like, here's what I jerked off to today.
Well, I'm also
feels like you should be wearing like an Abercrombie collar and a seashell necklace and like a visor.
No, because I'm like a TMI guy. Well, to be fair, I'm talking about jacking off to a French film. It seems exactly what you would expect from me.
I guess it's just like every time I see you, you're like, I jacked off to Sports Illustrated. I jacked off to my mother.
I'm literally saying I jacked off to a French film, but I feel bad because I can tell that it's really good. I mean, I feel like that's me. That's all brand.
This specific instance. But you don't feel like a guy who's like, here's what I jerk off to. You feel like a guy who's like, did you read the new Ballsack novel?
I talk about Ballsack and when my Ballsack leave come out of it.
I shouldn't have gone with Balzac. I just don't know that many authors that aren't like cliched. So I went with Balzac and left out Balzac. Yeah. But so miscast, who would be better as Owen Wilson in that? I don't know. I think a sadder character would have been better. Maybe a what was that? 2001.
Schwartzman. Put Schwartzman in there.
Yeah, but he's so Jewish looking.
He is Jewy too. But he's Jewy that's the thing. He's Jewy, but he works in the Wes Anderson world.
I guess so, yeah.
Ben Stiller's Jewy outside Anderson.
Well, to me, it's not just the Jewy. It's just silly. He's acting silly in the movie.
Yeah, but I think it's just Stiller's just not right for that. No. I don't know. I think Schwartzman could have worked.
I'm trying.
What are some other?
Yeah, miscastings. It's hard because, well, we've talked about Matt Damon in the Coen Brothers Western. That was weird.
No, I thought he was good in that.
True Grit.
I disagree.
I think that one was bad.
What's another fuck?
I know
it's tough because all the best
radio.
I know. Typically, good movies are well cast. That's what. And then you're like, that movie's bad, and you don't realize like it's bad a lot of times because they just cast it wrong. You know?
Yeah.
So it's hard to have a good movie that's badly cast because it means there's just like one role that you're like it's bad for that one role. You know?
Well, there's also, I mean, like famous ones like Sofia Coppola in Godfather 3. And it's funny, Francis Ford Coppola, one of the great directors ever, two of the most infamously bad performances in the history of film. Keanu Reeves in Dracula.
I haven't seen Dracula. Is it bad? Is he like?
Well, he's just doing an accent. It's just all over the place.
Let's check out Dracula.
He can't do the accent. And then Sofia Coppola. By the way, I watched... This is what I want to talk. Fuck the questions.
All right.
Sarah and I went to the movie theater and saw the single worst film I have ever seen ever. And I mean that.
Wait, let me guess. Oh,
you're never going to guess it. No one's ever heard of it.
All right. What is it?
It's called 6:45, like the time of day. And it's you were mad that the Andy Samberg movie took the plot of Groundhog Day.
Oh, it's another one.
It's Groundhog Day.
How many are we gonna have?
But a horror movie, and it's so fucking horrible. And the remember the Italian guys that DiCaprio beats up in The Departed, and he's like, "What are you selling cannolis?"
Yeah.
That guy plays like a waiter. Everything in this movie is so bad. You've got to watch it because it's legitimately the best. But it has 82% of Rotten Tomatoes because it's all like bloggers that like love horror. I assume it's gone down since.
Oh, like no one actually has seen it. Like it's like a YouTube video that it gets a lot of support because it hasn't got any visibility.
Yes, I got to look it up because see if it's gone down.
645. I've never,
Dude,
never heard of it.
It's fucking bananas bad. You cannot believe how fucking bad it is. It's the worst movie. We were so upset. We were like mad. It doesn't make any sense. It's crazy.
Dude, I just saw a preview for a fucking Groundhog's Day, another movie, like a rom-com with a young girl. And it's like, when did it, like, we've all just decided that's a fucking genre.
Yeah, I don't understand. But I did like the Sandberg movie.
I guess. I just don't get how you can just steal a movie and make it like can you do that for like anything now? Like, I'm just gonna take Big Lebowski and have like a stoner who like they kidnap this girl, and that's just a genre now. That's the genre. We all can make those.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It's goofy, but this movie's the worst. But anyways, we should go back to the questions. It has dropped to 70% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I got a new movie. It's part of the going into John Malkovich's head genre. You know that genre? I'm gonna make it it's part of that genre.
It's funny. This one's tough too. We'd have to research this. Directors or actors who have made exactly one great movie.
Oh, I know. I mean, wait. Fucking Ben Affleck.
Gone Baby Gone?
Yeah.
What else did he direct? Didn't he direct another? Oh, he directed a fucking Argo, which won Best Picture.
I mean, Argo's good. It's not great. But the fucking Gone Baby Gone is great.
And I agree that it's great, but I don't think that's who this guy's looking for.
Well, I mean
you're like the one that's not great is Best Picture. He won the Academy Award. That's not like playing the game properly.
All right. Okay. Well, some would say Kevin Costner, but I hate Dances with Wolves, so I'm not going to say that.
Basically, like to do an analogy to like sports, if this guy asked like, name a basketball player who's had one great season, and you name a guy who won the MVP award.
Michael Jordan.
Not great season. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Scottie Pippen.
All right. So who is there is someone who did make like one great movie. Well, the classic Night of the Hunter guy, that guy. I don't know.
Night of the Hunter?
The love, hate, that guy, Charles Lawton.
What did he make?
That old movie, Night of the Hunter.
I don't know Night of the Hunter.
Yeah, that's a considered a masterpiece, one movie, but I haven't seen that in a long time. What else? There's something.
There's a lot of people that made like an amazing movie, and then the rest are like, okay.
What are these? I thought these questions would be like an opinion we already have. These questions are like fucking trivia. I'm getting like stumped here, and now we're having fucking bad radio.
Let's skip this one. Here's a better one, more up your alley. Christopher Guest favorite movies of his, which we should do a full episode.
Oh yeah, we should do Christopher Guest.
This is Spinal Tap and Best in Show are the two best. Don't you agree?
Yes. I mean, Waiting for Guffman's great too, but yeah.
Waiting for Guffman is great. But upon rewatching, which I did during pandemic, it's got a few great jokes. It's a little more boring. Best in Show doesn't even have a low point. And then this is Spinal Tap is like the best comedy of all time.
Yeah. I'd say Best in Show is probably their best movie.
Better than Spinal Tap.
I think so. Yeah. Best in Show is pretty amazing.
It's an amazing movie, and it's actually quite compelling. There's like plot there. You're really like also suspenseful.
I think I haven't seen Guff in a while, but I assume if you watch it now, it seems a little mean spirited, right? Like making fun of all these small town people.
Yeah, who gives a fuck about mean spirited? What are you talking about?
Punch it down.
Mean spirited. I mean, fucking, School Ties is mean spirited, but it's fun.
I'm just saying they're just making fun of all these small town actors. Best in Show is like, I don't know. I haven't seen them in a while.
I mean, aren't they making fun of dog owners? I mean, they're making fun of fat people.
All right, fine.
What are we doing? It's comedy. Jesus Christ.
I haven't seen these movies in a long time. I'm trying to have an opinion. I don't know. Best in Show is the best one.
Best in Show is amazing. Yeah, Christopher Guest is also great in like Princess Bride. He's great in A Few Good Men. I mean, he's just awesome.
Yeah. It's a really good podcast. It's like they're asking questions. We're like, yeah, like
I think it's good. I think this is a good episode. Okay. People love the question one. How about this question? And we can bring it back. Yeah. Speaking of The Princess Bride, somebody wrote The Princess Bride versus Wizard of Oz. Who wins?
Well, for me, here's the truth. I like Princess Bride. I've never been. Everyone comes in their pants about Princess Bride. It's like the greatest thing ever. And they're like, I don't know. I liked it. I guess I have to watch it again. But Wizard of Oz, I watched every day when I was 5 years old. I love Wizard of Oz.
I thought you were gonna say you watch it every day now.
I, I would.
But
I
did the Wizard of Oz not make you shit your pants when you were 5 years old? Flying monkeys and a witch?
I mean, I watched Jaws every day when I was 5 years old.
I know about the
Wizard of
Jaws
Oz was
when
a
you were a
palate.
kid. You
Well, I'm
told me
just
about the
saying.
Jaws.
Wizard of Oz was a fucking walk in the park compared to Jaws.
See, I disagree. Because the Jaws, it's scary because there's a shark. But if you're not in the ocean, you don't have to be afraid of a shark. Like, I'm going to school, I'm not afraid of a shark. Whereas a flying monkey knows no bounds. He could fly and pick me up and fly away with me. And a weird green lady. And
I have to go
Halloween.
to Oz. I have to go to Oz for that to happen.
I suppose so, but I mean, you didn't feel safe. And by the way, the tornado itself was scary. I was afraid a fucking tornado would pick me up and kill all my family or save my family and shoot me to fucking Oz, where a green fucking witch lady. And every Halloween, green witches would come into our classroom. I remember being scared to death.
I mean, in Jaws, a shark bites a little child that's 5 in half and murders him.
Who's in the ocean?
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, I just think that's, Wizard of Oz is a fucking happy ending.
I didn't get to the ending. I cried and turned it off because a fucking monkey stole the buddies.
Yeah, I guess the monkey's scary. I mean, like,
so
yeah.
It's just a question. So you were not scared of the witch going to burn fucking the scarecrow who you had fallen in love with about when you were 5?
I guess I don't remember ever really being scared of Wizard of Oz. I just remember loving it. Let me ask you this though. This is a real generational thing. I used to, you remember on the TV used to have the thing where you change it and the colors change?
Yes.
I used to do that and change the witch's face to make it blue or purple,
Oh, fun.
You ever remember that? That's like that's so
yes.
old.
I'm older than you.
I know, but isn't that like it doesn't seem like such an old thing to say? There used to be a thing on the TV that changes colors. Like it's just like it makes it look like we were helping create the TV. Like you had to do it yourself.
Well, we're a weird generation because it's such a precarious place because we have like the internet happened while I was in high school.
I know.
Like I have 2 years of high school with internet and 2 years with not internet.
I know.
It's strange. Like when I first started doing comedy, I had phone numbers that was 7 digits. You dialed 7 numbers.
Yeah. Wait, phone numbers are 7 digit. What do you mean?
Like you didn't need an area code.
Oh.
To dial a phone number. I would be like 447-3897.
Oh yeah,
because it was local. A person.
Yeah, it was local.
Yes.
Right? Oh yeah,
yes, that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh yeah, there's no such thing as local.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yes, and like I remember not having an answering machine or call waiting.
No, yeah, call waiting was a new thing. Do you remember 411?
Yeah, that's like not even that long ago.
Well, 411, you call, they tell you like the person. It was just you literally called someone who would help you.
Yes, and then they would connect you. Like, do you want to be connected? And you're like, yes, I do.
That's insane. Now, I guess it's just that's whole like connect. Someone was basically handling your phone call.
Well, it's funny. I was rewatching Field of Dreams, which I want to talk about 2 different things that we've talked about in the past. Today, I was in line at a bagel place. And it's like one of these hipster places that just has movies on mute. And Ferris Bueller was on. And I'm like, this movie's like incredible. Like, you're just like a fucking nitwit.
Getting angry at me.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And then I rewatched Field of Dreams again because they played a baseball game there. And it's just such an amazing movie. And I have to say, your take of like, it's conservative is truly maybe the worst movie take. It's literally about hippies and the spirit of hippie culture. They're hippies. And then there's literally a scene with a woman trying to ban books.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you're a fascist Nazi cow. And this is the spirit of the 60s. And then she ends it. She halts fascism because of her hippie spirit. And then you watch this movie and you're like, this is conservative.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can't remember what I said, but I stand by it. I just can't. It's been a while.
It's a shit take.
Why were you tweeting about Field of Dreams the other day? Was it because it was on, or who was talking about that on there?
They played a Major League Baseball game at the Field of Dreams.
Oh, really?
Adjacent to it. Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh, that must have been very exciting for you.
And it's the most watched regular season baseball game in 16 years, and it had like an unbelievable ending. Like almost like it's like they must have been faking this.
The Field of Dreams is just up, like that's just like a set.
Well, it's actually adjacent to it, but they left the field is still there. The field and the house where they shot is still there intact. And in the same cornfield, they built like a ballpark.
Oh, cool.
So you can walk around on the field, and then there was a Major League Baseball game at an adjacent field.
So now this movie that you associate with like your happiness and childhood, every time you would now associate it with joy, childhood, and me being a fucking idiot. Like your disdain for me is now connected to something that brings you like joy.
Yes, and it wouldn't be upsetting if you didn't like it, because I'd just be like, well, you don't know sports, you have a good dad, you're a dummy. But it's the conservative part of it that just is insane.
Well, I stand by it because I have to at this point. All right, let's have some more questions. Oh, but Wizard of Oz over.
I haven't even got to answer the fucking question.
Fuck yeah.
So you're Wizard of Oz over Princess Bride.
Love Wizard of Oz.
See, I find the Wizard of Oz, obviously, first of all, I talk about this a lot. It's mind-blowing how much that piece of art has gone into culture just almost 100 years later, 90 years later.
Right.
And people don't even know it. People still see people on bikes and go, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
They say, I'm going to get you, my pretty Toto. They say it's a Toto dog.
Yes.
Wicked Witch, I'll get you, my pretty. I'm melting, which is a reference to it. Field of Dreams has a reference to Wizard of Oz.
Right. There's no place like home.
Yes. Ruby Slipper. Everyone knows Ruby Slippers. It's in the Smithsonian. Like all these things that are just so part of our culture is amazing.
Princess Bride has like a couple of those, but it's really just for a specific generation. Well, Wizard of Oz too. This is another question that is not on there, but it's a fun question that I've always talked about. What is the movie with the most famous quotes? And it's really between three movies, and Wizard of Oz is one of the three.
What are the other two?
Casablanca and The Godfather. I'd say those three movies have the most memorable quotes. And I'd say Wizard of Oz might be number one.
It has to be, yeah.
Right?
Because there's a whole contingency of people that haven't seen The Godfather. Everybody's familiar with The Wizard of Oz. Even if they haven't really seen
Casablanca. Like,
yeah, Casablanca, I mean, it just doesn't, that holds up for like film buffs.
So Wizard of Oz is like the most famous movie, basically, because it's the most famous
I would
quotes.
say. I mean, it's the most, I mean, there's a piece of it in the Smithsonian. Everybody recognizes the Ruby Slippers. Everybody knows the Lollipop Guild, the fucking, the Munchkins, Yellow Brick Road, Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, because it's a kid's movie too, so it's for everyone. Everyone's seen it. Godfather, like, so it's, yeah. So Wizard of Oz is literally, I guess that's true. Wizard of Oz is the most famous movie of all time.
I mean, Pay No Attention to the Man Behind the Curtain is like another one.
Is there any movie that's as famous as Wizard of Oz?
No.
Yeah, I guess Wizard of Oz really is like number one in terms of iconic.
Most definitely.
So fuck yeah, that's got to be the answer. Princess Bride, you got like, you know.
But I think he's asking, you know,
what favorites.
Like, but for me, I've seen The Wizard of Oz 1,000 times. But I'm still, if someone's like, what do you want to watch, The Wizard of Oz or Princess Bride? I'm throwing on The Princess Bride. It's fun. I mean, The Princess Bride is just,
yeah, but Wizard of Oz it's pretty amazing. And I just know it's one of the, I've seen it every day as a kid. So like you got those movies where every shot's just ingrained in your memory, the sound of every shot. It's just one
There's like 50 of those movies for me because I'm a fucking, there's something wrong with me.
Have I talked about this about Wizard of Oz? The fact that like, you know how like you got the lion, the scarecrow, and the Tin Man, right?
Yes. So far, you're good. Yeah.
Well, the Tin Man acts like he has no like heart, but he does have a heart. And you see it in the movie. And the Scarecrow acts like he's like mentally handicapped, but he's actually very intelligent, right? But the cowardly lion acts like he's a coward, and he's a coward the whole time.
Right.
At no point does he show courage. Like he in his opening scene, he gets slapped by a little girl and he cries immediately. And he's the first guy to run out of the hallway where when the wizard screams
and jump out the window. It's one of the best comedic moments ever.
He jumps out the window, but then at the end, the wizard says to him, "You've had courage this whole time." No, he hasn't. He has not had courage at all.
Well, here's where I would push back on that.
Push
This
back.
is what my therapist says. He's still there. He's there. He's living his life. He did go. And he jumped out the window, but he came back. He's made it to here. He could have ditched them at any moment.
That's a great point. You're saying he's managing his anxiety.
Yes, he's flipping out. He's freaking out, but he's still there, which is what my therapist always says to me. I'm like, I had a panic attack in the dentist chair. He's like, yeah, but you went to the dentist, right? The root canal is finished.
Yeah, but you didn't jump out the window. You didn't run and break through the window. Like,
well, they needed some comedy. That's quite courageous to jump out a window.
I'd say that's letting your anxiety get the best of you. You're not managing it at that point.
No, but I wouldn't jump out a window. I'm too scared.
If you went to the dentist and you immediately pushed him away and just jumped out the window, your psychiatrist not be like, "You did it."
But he came back the next day. He was there the next day.
All right, fine. You're right. Okay.
He got through. But no, it's a good point.
I just personally think the wizard kind of had to compliment the other two, and it'd been awkward if he was just like, "You fucking cat pussy." There's nothing.
But
so
this is what's so beautiful about it is I've had that exact dialogue with my therapist, and he goes, "No, you are courageous," and it's a good point. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I am going." Well, many people don't go to the dentist ever in their fucking lives until their teeth fall out.
Right.
You're going, you're doing it. Same with stand up, writing a movie,
you're right.
Doing a podcast. Sure, I'm scared.
You're right. I'm too hard on the line, and by being hard on the line, I'm being too hard on myself.
But it's a beautiful movie.
Beautiful movie.
It's great. But so is The Princess Bride. Princess Bride is fantastic. This is a Patreon request, but something we could touch on a little bit. Someone said, "How much do I have to pay for the Patreon to get a full Harrison Ford filmography discussed?"
How much money do they have? I mean, like, if you're rich, can we get like thousands of dollars?
Yeah, give us 25 grand each, and we'll do the full.
Wait, the full, like, every movie?
It would take a while. It's like a 55-year career.
That's insane. We just rewatch every movie.
Well, and this is also associated. Someone said Indiana Jones versus Star Wars.
I mean, Indiana Jones, 100%.
Yes, I would agree. Although I've seen the Star Wars films way more, and they're fun. But we've talked about Star Wars.
You see the Star Wars movies a lot?
Oh, when I was a kid, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with Star Wars. Oh my God.
Talk shit about Star Wars all the time, I assume. I was never into Star Wars. I mean, I've seen them a lot too, but.
Wait, so you have seen them a lot?
I mean, I saw them more later on. As a kid, I was always a Spielberg kid, not a Lucas kid. So for me, it was all E.T., Jaws. Those were the Raiders of the Lost Ark. And so Star Wars is always like, what the fuck is this? It's like a faggy robot, and like it's just like weird. But getting older, I've had to rewatch them a lot for like comedy stuff.
Well, yeah, I was really Star Wars is like wrestling to me, very similar. I was absolutely obsessed for about 6 years. The toys, the thing, everything. I'm in love with it. So I have all the references to it. I know it well. But it's been a good 25 years of like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So this is silly.
You're not going to still be in. Yeah.
But Star Wars, if a Star Wars comes on, like TNT will air all of them on like a Sunday, I'll throw on some of it. I do think Empire Strikes Back is a great
Strikes Back is very good. Yes. But Indiana Jones is way better. Even though like Indiana Jones is way I think both of us just like shit that's connected to reality a little. Just have like on Earth. I feel like we both like stuff. It has to be on Earth for the most part, don't you think?
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe like 2001, I really like, but again,
it's not
that digestible.
But even 2001, they're Earthlings at least. You know what I mean?
Right. Good point.
But yeah, I guess that's probably I was going to ask you, what's your favorite? Yeah, what's your favorite movie not on Earth?
Apollo 13.
Okay, yeah, and even that is still, yeah, exactly. I just said that. Everyone else would say a fantasy, and you literally said a true story about a.
Yeah. Raiders of the Lost Ark, I love. I was never a huge Indiana Jones. I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. The other ones I've seen and enjoyed. But like Raiders to me was like considered one of the great movies of all time. And so I got into it. The sequels, not as much.
I feel like it's good. In terms of Spielberg, it's my least favorite Spielberg just because it's like action, you know, it's not more so than suspense, I guess. It's like it's like a roller coaster ride. And if you watch it now, it doesn't really like, it's just old. So it's like, it just feels like you're going on a very old roller coaster, basically.
Yeah, it's fun. We've talked about this too. I hate just like anxiety movies where it's like the gun is just out of reach.
Right,
and it's like dun, 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 and you're like, I know he's gonna get out. It just makes my like eyes twitch. Where I'm like, fuck.
You know what's interesting about Raiders of the Lost Ark is that the Nazis in it basically want to get the Jewish Bible because they think it has powers. So they think the Jews are essentially correct.
Oh, that's a fun little thing.
Like the Nazis are basically like, these Jews are inferior, but their object is the holy object that we want to use.
Yeah, they're inferior, but smarter.
Pro-Jew, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm pro-Jew, so.
But anyway, yeah.
What else do we got? Oh, this is an interesting one. If you could make any movie with, I fucking, what do you call it? When you make it your own?
Yeah. What? Adapted?
Paraphrase. I'm paraphrasing. If you could make any style of movie, budget is no option, what kind of movie would you make?
Any kind of movie, budget's no, like what kind of genre?
Yeah, I guess. You got $1 trillion. Don't worry. You can just make a movie.
It's really sad. I feel like I just make an independent film that's a fucking walk and talk about people.
That's what's hard. I was thinking that too, because I'm like, especially when I think about making a movie, like all I ever think about, first of all, the movies I'm really drawn to and would want to make are like, exactly, family drama. My wife is dying and I have a crush on my aunt or whatever.
Me too. Yeah.
So that's what I'm into. And like nothing gives me more anxiety than the idea of directing an epic. Like the idea of like, I watched like Heart of Darkness, which is the best fucking documentary of all time. The idea of like being in charge of a fucking war scene of like, we're going to blow up a bill. It's just like, there's no appeal whatsoever.
I just go into a fetal position. So many questions were asked of him. They were like, where should this cow go right before it gets blown up? And where's the platoon 12? Where should platoon 12 be? Should the helicopter? I just like have a panic attack and just jump into the water. Yeah.
No. And it literally there's like, he's in a war zone and like they're taking his helicopter. They're about to shoot and like his helicopters get taken to another, like Cambodia.
Well, you know what I think a director has to do? They have to pretend they just know the answer like right away. I think because no one really knows anything. I think like people come up and like, where should we put platoon 12? And you just got to be like, of course it goes over to the left. That's how we envisioned this. Of course. Like you just have to make a choice confidently and then deep down be like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I think that's the key to directing.
It's like the Seinfeld bit about doctors. He's like, that wasn't the tube or the stomach. Boy, he was great.
But yeah, I would do I think I would do I always want to do a movie about Darwin. That's a period piece.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with the budget thing, though, that would be nice as I'm working on a film currently.
Yeah.
The budget is nice because you can have a pop music soundtrack, which would be fun.
That's true.
Like I keep being like, oh, this song would be perfect.
I know.
And then you're like, that costs $300,000. So no. Like the movies like Dazed and Confused and all these Tarantino movies, most of the budget goes into music. Well, not Tarantino because they're big epics, but like Dazed and Confused, the whole budget was getting the music, which was crucial. It's a fucking 70s summer movie.
Don't you kind of want to be like, hey, Louis, if only you use the song for this thing.
I know. But it's, you do want, I would do like what we're talking about, a human drama, but maybe with some killer music.
Human drama.
And you can get some serious actors too with a big budget.
Human drama, great actors, but you got Dylan. You got Dylan on the soundtrack, Right. Yeah, that's the answer.
So, but like, Western, a war movie, a sci-fi, none of that shit.
No.
Appeals to me.
No.
Why is there no cleanup after sex in movies? Very unrealistic. They just lay there with loads in them.
That's a great point. And I'll throw another point onto that. I don't know if we've talked about this, but I've been saying this for years. In every porn, maybe I've said this on the podcast like 400 times. I probably have. But in every porn, people fuck for way too long, right?
Yeah.
And in every real movie, every guy prematurely ejaculates. Every sex in a real movie is like they just start fucking and he comes immediately and no one cares.
What movie are they coming?
Every movie, you're like grab someone, you fuck, and it's just over in like two minutes.
No, there's a lot of it like Top Gun. It's like do.
Top Gun is the exception. Outside of Top Gun, if you watch a movie, it's like he grabs a guy in the hallway, they fuck, and it's just quick. It's like literally a minute and it's over. And they don't cut. They don't do montage. It's just one fuck. No, they don't.
Thelma and Louise, they're fucking a bunch. There's a lot of fucking.
All right, you're picking the couple examples that go against this.
But you're saying every movie. Don't say every movie.
Most movies, there's the fuck is in real time and it's like a minute long.
Most movies, they cut to the movie. The sex is already happening. Most movies, it feels like they're like, and there's a look, and then it cuts to them in mid-fuck.
Have you seen Last Tango in Paris?
Yes.
The first fuck. How long is that?
Okay, so you picked up. All right, so you got one example. I'm naming multiple examples.
I'm just
You're saying every, so you should be able to rifle off 10. I just rifled off 3.
I got another one. There's just so many where you're just you see them start to fuck, and then they can't they don't want to cut away, but they don't want to show it for like 12 minutes.
Summer comedy, like Ben Stiller in that one movie, Along Came Polly. He's like coming fast, and they do address it.
I'm not talking about where they address it. I'm saying they don't address it.
But you're saying they never address it.
But it's the length.
Another example they do address.
God, I'm gonna make a fucking montage of what I'm talking about. And we're gonna
Please,
play it on this fucking
that'd be
podcast.
great.
Or if someone else, because it's true. It's like most fucking. It's like maybe it's not most fucking, but it's all the okay, I have another one. I'm just thinking of things I've jacked off to. What's that movie with fucking goddamn Anne Hathaway and Jake Gyllenhaal? Love and Other Drugs.
No, it's Brokeback Mountain.
No, well, they're also in this other movie, Love and Other Drugs.
Fucking 2 movies?
Oh wait, Brokeback Mountain. Don't they have a fuck that's real quick?
I don't think so. I think they just are fucking and they don't show the person coming. I think you rarely see the person coming.
Their first fucking. He's Jake Gyllenhaal. He's Ledger busting nut like immediately.
Well, he's like a virgin. Of course, he's gonna bust a nut immediately. Who's
a virgin?
Fucking Heath Ledger.
I don't know if they're virgins.
He's never fucked a dude.
But he's
excited.
Enough.
This is exciting, dude. If you're up in the mountains for fucking 6 months, that's realistic. He's just like, this is like the hottest sex ever. He's
still
just
think
fucking
he'd be
his
like,
buddy.
okay, but if you'd still think he'd be like, even after that, him going, sorry, this never happens to me.
Like they cut away. Some of it. The real answer here is like it's unnecessary to move the film forward.
What is to move the? What do you mean
to fucking sit there and be like, all right, I'm gonna clean this cum off of me.
Well,
they gotta get to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that'd be insane to just have it in The Godfather. They just clean the cum or whatever the fuck scene is.
But I think most sex scenes they just cut to sex happening. My favorite sex thing ever is in the movie Crazy Heart, where he finishes his set and then there's that woman that just goes woo and it cuts to her asleep in the bed. That's like amazing. By the way, that movie, which is great, has my number one flaw in any movie. Have we talked about this?
Him montaging his way into sobriety.
No, it's not even that. That movie is great. I think Bridges is amazing. I love the sobriety. I love the music. I think it's a movie.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He's not drunk in the fucking scene where he hits bottom. He's not even drinking.
Right. The kid disappears really
He has
quickly.
one drink. He literally, and they don't break it where it's a montage. I think maybe we did talk about this. He sits at the bar. He orders a drink. He takes like 3 sips of it.
Yeah.
And then the kid disappears and he's at an AA meeting being like, I lost a kid. I was drunk when that happened. I'm drunk all the time. And I'm like, why don't they show him drinking during that day? He wasn't drinking. He wasn't drunk.
Yeah, it's like that Sam Morril joke where he says like he's watching Law and Order where like mother has a baby and then she looks around and the baby's just disappeared because someone stole it really quickly. Like she turns around and then she's like, I'm a terrible mother. It's like, no, you just ran into one of the best kidnappers ever. You know what I mean? like,
Funny.
But it's like, yeah, that kid's he's not alcoholic. I mean, it's not about alcoholism. It's about that kid just not being like running away too quickly, you know?
I don't know the movie, but or the TV show or the bit, but it makes sense.
Yeah, but let me just going back to the fuck thing for 1 second. Okay, I'm narrowing it down to this. The scenes in movies where there's a fit of passion and they fuck for the first time, not a cutaway. Whenever there's like a fit of passion, you see them, they begin the fuck, and all those, it's always a minute-long sex, and they act like it wasn't a minute-long sex.
Okay, I just don't think there's that many scenes like that.
There's a lot.
All right,
okay.
Agree to disagree.
All right.
What did you think of the movie Comedian when it came out, and have your opinions changed?
What is Comedian? Oh, the Seinfeld documentary.
Yeah.
I felt like Jerry had to go all the way to Orny Adams to find someone to make him look likable in comparison.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I love the movie. I mean, I saw it 4 times in the theaters. It was I've been doing comedy for about 2 years. It like blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. I remember like the opening 4 minutes. I know that movie so well, and the commentary with Jerry and Colin is amazing. Colin has one of the best lines ever.
What's the line?
He's just the best. The last scene of the movie, the climax, he's talking to Cosby, and Cosby says to Seinfeld, you know, first of all, the movie is completely ruined. Have your opinions changed? I'm like, the climax is ruined.
Why?
Whole climax of the movie is he goes and talks to Cosby, and Cosby gives him this beautiful wisdom, and he's a fucking serial rapist. Like, you can't even like air the movie anymore. It's like, it's hilarious. You watch it and you're like, this is amazing. There's no other piece of art that's that ruined.
What does Cosby say?
He's just talking about, he's like, you know, he's like, you can, the Quinn line, and what Cosby says is, he's like, you knocked, he's like, someday you can be sitting in a rocking chair and you can say, you know, I played the shit out of my game. You could sit there with Joe Louis, Willie Mays, Muhammad Ali, and he names like one other athlete, Bill Russell. And I said, when those guys are saying, I knocked the shit out of my game, you could say, I did too. But while he's doing the list, Colin goes, name a white guy, Bill. You're making us all uncomfortable. And it's fucking hilarious. And Jerry gets mad. He goes, don't ruin this, Colin. But it's a great scene. And
I remember that because I remember thinking, oh, Bill Cosby curses in that line. Like I remember thinking it was kind of a surprise that he cursed in real life.
Well, that's what I was going to say is the first like 6 minutes of the movie, you hear Jerry go, I fucking hate it. And I remember being in the theater being like, oh my God, Jerry just said fuck. And that was crazy. And then seeing Colin and the Cellar and all that stuff was so exciting. I love the Jerry movie.
Yeah, I love the Jerry stuff. I personally just hate Orny Adams as a person. He's a piece of shit. I just hate him in the movie. And I think he's just like in the movie, he just puts on a bad, like he makes it look like every young comic is like that when it's not true.
I don't know. That may be you projecting or taking it. I don't think anybody watches that and is like, this is what comedians are like. Do they?
Well, isn't that the point? The young comedian, older comedian?
No, but I think the point is like, this is Orny. I don't think anyone's like, oh, do you look into the camera and say stretch before an audition? Because you don't want them to pull their like, I don't think anyone watches that.
I don't like his parts. I find him so obnoxious.
But they're interesting, aren't they? Because his is more... There's more at stake for him. Like as far as movie wise, Jerry, this is what I get annoyed with. And like, this is where Louis and people like him, Burr and all these guys really made the movie look stupid because the whole plot of the movie, Jerry's portion of the movie is I'm lost without my act. And Jerry comes off a little pretentious sometimes. He's like, sometimes I'm up there. I feel like I'm in my father's suit and it just doesn't fit.
Right.
And then he literally is like this. It's so fucking hard to get comfortable. And I'm like, I do new every night. I go to the Comedy Cellar and I just try brand new stuff. I don't even get it. Like, why are you're the biggest star in the world. Everybody's thrilled to see you. Why are you that uncomfortable doing new material? What?
And also, there's a line it's a great point. And there's also a line he said that I actually just don't think is true. He said, no matter who you are, you could be Jack Nicholson. They're excited for 3 minutes. And then after that, they're like, what do you got? I have seen, you know that part?
Yes, of course. Colin, has a great moment.
I have seen plenty of comics who are just famous go up there, have dog shit, and do well for the whole set because everyone in the audience is idiots. I mean, maybe they won't come back, but I have plenty of times seen that if they're a celebrity.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I don't think that's true. I think if you're famous and you go up there and you like, I mean, maybe if you're like, you can't just shit on the stage, but if you're famous and you know how to like barely be okay, the audience will like it.
Yeah, I don't really agree because I've watched famous people just take hot one, just sat there and bump. They're excited to see the person, but I do think they're like, all right. I think Colin says it best. He's like, even Jack Nicholson, they'd be so excited after a few minutes, they'd be like, okay, Jack. Will you watch some big celebrity acts that have nothing and they go up there and eat it? And then the next comic will be like you or me or whoever, and they just rip. And the audience is like, I'm glad this is happening now.
You know what? Let me change it a little. I don't mean in New York. I mean on the road, I guess. On the road, if you're doing like a bunch of people came to see them, you know?
Yes.
I think that's where they tend to do well the whole time, no matter what. You know what I mean? I don't know, in my opinion.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people watch and leave going, that sucked. That guy sucked. Maybe, I mean, there's a couple, like, I don't want to name names, but there is a person that's like famous on a TV show with Larry David, and everybody is like, that guy sucks. Like unanimously, everyone that sees him is like, it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Are you talking about Jerry Seinfeld?
So I don't know. I do agree that like audiences are like, hey, we want laughs. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I just saw a couple. I've opened for a couple people who are like, maybe it is. It's like, I think the jokes suck, but they know how to write a joke, so they still do okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, if you don't know how to write a joke, or if you just improvise the entire time you're up there, like the person we're talking about. Yeah.
Right. Never seen the guy, never met him. If you improvise, great on the show.
If you improvise the entire time and you're not Rory Scovel, yeah, it's not going to go. Great.
But the movie is pretty great to me, but it is like plot wise, like, I mean, so that's what I was going to say. Like Orny is a young comic trying to get to Montreal and then eventually doing a late night. So there's like stakes where Jerry is just a famous person putting together an act.
Yeah.
And like I said, a few years after that movie came out, Louis started doing a new hour every year, and it really
Right.
makes the plot of the movie quite silly.
It's like Jerry Seinfeld's gonna go out and try new jokes every once in a while.
Yeah, and
how is he gonna survive this crazy adventure of doing what comics are supposed to do?
he's made to look stupid, and it's like Cosby, who's in the movie, did that for years. It's like and Carlin did it for years. It just is very strange that Jerry is doing this thing. I mean, I always, even then, I got mad when he's like, "It's so fucking hard to get comfortable." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
It's that thing where he's like, other people should say you're doing hard work. He's trying to make it look like he does that thing where he just makes it look like everything he does is so hard. It's like, you let other people say that about you.
Right.
You can't just be like, what I'm about to do is really tough. It's like,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun ass movie for sure. And Jerry's very like charming to watch. But you know what, a part I found really interesting in that movie, like they try to show him bombing with new shit, and he's on stage and he just goes, "What was that next joke I was about to say? Do you remember this part?"
Mm-hmm.
And someone like heckles or something, and I was like, "Oh, that's really impressive." That I guess I was younger. It's really impressive. He's on stage. He's like, he doesn't care about doing well. He's just like, what was that other new joke I'm trying to say? The fact that he brought that up instead of going, "Ooh, I can't remember. Let me go into something old." That seemed really professional and empowering, not like embarrassing,
Yeah. Someone goes, "Is this your first gig?"
Yeah, exactly. But do you see what I'm saying? Like back at that time, if I was trying to do new shit and I couldn't remember a new thing, I would just immediately go, I overdraft. I'd say like an old joke.
Right.
But the fact that he's like up there going, "I'm not trying anything old. I'm just going to only remember new shit." That was cool. That wasn't embarrassing.
No, but again, it is easier to do when you're the most famous, successful person on earth, because like we've never had that, because everywhere, if we did that, they'd be like, "You're fired."
Right.
You can't come back here again. You're a fucking unprofessional.
But I also think like when I go on stage at like the Cellar, I'm trying to like crush really hard and because no one knows who I am. But I also think if you're famous and they know you, you probably don't feel the need to like, it'd be weird for you to come out and be like, "I'm going to destroy." Like it's, you know what I mean? Like they know you already,
That's why all those older guys hate people like you, because that's what the Cellar is supposed to be, a workout room. I mean, that's what the thing is.
Not for me.
I know that's the thing. We started passing young comics, myself included, when the first few years I was there, is because you're like, I got to murder because I got to fight for spots.
I know.
And so all these guys like Quinn and Norton and these guys are like, this sucks. I have to follow a young comic just murdering,
doing a shit, which is kind of like which is not cool. It's much cooler to go up there and work on shit,
Yeah. So you got to mix it in a little bit. It's still a balance, but
it's a balance. Yeah.
I mean, I love the movie. It's so personal to me. I mean, it came out when I was a young comic, so I saw it a million times, and now I know everybody in the movie. So, and I love the movie, but I guess it's changed in that way. The climax is a rapist. I know everybody. The plot is a little bit silly now because that's what everyone does.
And it is funny. The movie ends with getting words of wisdom from someone who raped the most people.
Yeah. And there's a great moment with Colin, because Jerry goes, "Now I just want to go where he's gone." And it cuts to Colin at the study. He goes, "It's worth exploring. It's amazing." And then it also ends. The button is Colin too. I mean, Colin, also
Colin's
like
the best.
I mean, Colin is like one of my closest friends, and it's a movie that showcases him being him. Right. I mean, there's a few Colin moments I just want to check off real quick. One is when Jerry orders the apple pie, and then they're like, "We're out," and he's like, "You know what? Cancel it." And then Jerry goes, "That's one of my favorite jokes." And Colin goes, "I didn't even get it." I was like, "Yeah, cancel it." And then Jerry goes, "You can't cancel something, they don't have it." And Colin goes, "I get it now." And it's amazing. And then the little button after the credits is great, where Colin's talking about how somebody wrote one of his favorite jokes, and Jerry goes, "No, that joke is old. It's older." And Colin goes, "It's old now, but maybe he wrote it." And Jerry goes, "It's from the 50s." And Colin goes, just looks down, defeated, and the movie cuts. It's amazing. I mean, he's just the best, and they should make a movie about Colin instead.
Yeah, for sure. He's amazing. And his stuff is still so you see a lot of old guys at the Cellar that are like, they're just kind of phoning it in. His stuff is still so fucking amazing.
He's the best. He's just the best comic and friend and amazing person.
Also, I didn't mean to talk shit about the other person in the documentary, but he fired my friend once for no reason because he's a fucking power tripping asshole. So
Yeah, well, fuck him then.
fuck him. Yeah.
There was supposed to be a third guy who I know, who I'll tell you his name after, but he was an old guy who was successful, now isn't successful, but he was such a drunk alcoholic mess they couldn't even film him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he
That
got
would have been
cut.
that would have been pretty competent to show all three. Yeah, but it is funny that it ends with Bill Cosby. It's like a documentary ending was just Ted Bundy being like, "You did it. You should feel great about yourself. You know,
Right.
life's about achievements. You know." But what can you do?
Let me see if I can find one more, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah. It was fun.
Great.
I didn't sleep last night, so I'm in that thing where I'm like feel like so out of it. Do I seem out of it?
No, you seem great.
Yeah, I guess no one really can tell what's like you're out of it, but it looks fine on the surface. That's the worst part about like anxiety. It's like hell in your head, but then no one notices.
No, and I also think it's hard for people to feel empathetic if they're not experiencing the thing.
Yes.
Like I have Sarah's on the road right now at Chicago Zanies, and I do the road about 40, 45 weeks a year. And then she was there for like a few hours, like landed at like 11. And at like 3, she's like, it's so lonely. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I know. I'm like, it's just like mind blowing. I'm like, are you kidding? You've been there for like 3 hours.
You mean like last night at the Cellar when I had like an hour to get back to Brooklyn and Todd Barry was complaining about his 10-minute walk back to his apartment because he feels like the walks become really repetitive.
It's hilarious. Like,
and then he somehow also got a ride with me and Caitlin.
That's funny. But anyways, it is lonely. I'll cut that out. But anyways, all right, this is final question. First movie you went on a date. The person wrote with a dude, which I think is a zinger.
Yeah, all right. So funny that's a zinger. Like just homosexuality is a zinger.
Well, it was. I tried to do a bit about that. I'm like for years. I'm from the '90s.
Yeah.
And I would always go at Starbucks for years. I'd be like, I'll have a green tea and a coffee for my boyfriend, and then people would be like, nah. And then around like 2011, people would started to be like, this okay? Like, oh.
No, my boyfriend. I'm having sex with another man.
Get it?
You
Can
get
you
it?
imagine?
My penis is not going into a vagina. It's going into an asshole. It doesn't even make sense. Don't you? Well, it's so funny. It's not. It should not be happening.
Why aren't you laughing?
It's absurd. It's going against God and nature. How are you not laughing right now?
I said boyfriend. Boyfriend. I'm a boy. Can't be two boys.
I guess someone did this joke before me already.
I'm like, what a fucking humorless idiot.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's the whole joke. Like, and he, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
what was his name?
And what was his name? Like, haha. Yeah.
But anyways,
homophobic, like being like tolerant towards homosexuality, which is good, is great. But a lot of jokes have been really ruined from that. Homophobia was a big source of material.
Yeah, and it's I'm still trying to edit it out of my personal life.
A lot of high school kids had to really go back to the writing boards, to the drawing boards after that. That was like a big go-to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm struggling with it currently right now.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like saying no more, airplane material, no more,
Was that personal?
That was not personal, but the minute I said it, I was like, God damn it.
I mean, it's pretty original. I mean, point to the fucking airplane bits that I did that you've heard before.
I didn't fucking mean you. I just meant airplane material. I just thought of...
I'll tell you what's hacky.
God
this idea that you can't talk about a subject. It's insane.
Of course it's hacky. I didn't say it was you. I love your airplane material.
All my material. It could have been a train. I could have said bus.
There's nothing hack in... there's no hack topics, only hack execution.
Exactly. I think we've talked about this too. Colin said, he's like, you can do a brilliant joke about McDonald's. You can do a hack joke about neuroscience.
Of course. Yes. That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Put your glasses back on. I hate these people that take their glasses off and put them on and take them off. I don't get it. Do you need them or not?
You know, my least favorite fucking people now are, have we talked about this? The people, the people who love to tell you about vaccine breakthrough cases.
No.
My mom's friend and all her kids just got COVID, and they were all vaccinated, every one of them.
Yeah, did they die?
No, but it's just just stop telling me about it. I don't want to know.
Right.
I don't care. I'm done.
All right.
All right, anyway.
Date. First movie. You want to date?
Oh shit. Date first movie.
I think I'll go first. What you
You
think?
go first.
You just had so many dates. You're date filled.
It's quite the opposite. I mean, I didn't really date a lot in like high school and stuff, so I can't really remember.
Well, it just says first. It could have been 3 years ago.
I mean, all right, you go.
I think Blair Witch Project.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 99. Dog.
Did you throw up? You get like nauseous during that. I heard.
Oh, you heard about my girlfriend in high
Well,
school?
no, people got nauseous during that movie. They would throw up.
Oh, I don't know. I love that movie. First of all, I thought it was fantastic. I still like it, and
It was scary. Yeah.
I thought it was amazing. And although I'm not one of these people that like thought it was real, it's always weird when people are like,
Who
did
thought
you
it
think
was real?
People say that all the time. The people that were dizzy and thrown up. That's what everyone thought. People were like, "Did you think it?" Like, people will say that to me, and I'm like, "What
You
are you
think-
saying?"
You think lost footage of people dead just goes straight to the movie theater? Like it doesn't go into the hands of the police?
It's like cut together and like
It's like the people who saw Jaws and then were like afraid to go into a pool. Like I saw Jaws, I'll never go into a pool. It's like you're retarded.
yeah. I mean that can't be that many people saying that.
There are a lot of people say that. They're like, I saw Jaws, I never went to a pool when I was young. There's a lot of people.
Do you think this is my opinion?
Yes.
The funniest thing ever written dialogue on a show or movie, I think ever, is George and Jerry having a fighting about whose parents are crazier. It is the funniest thing. It's fucking not season 8 or 9. So
I remember this. I remember. It's a good. It's 5, right?
Goes,
5 or
my
6.
mother has never set foot in a natural body of water. And then George goes, my father wears his sneakers in the pool. Sneakers, Jerry. And then Jerry says another one. And then George gets really close to me. He goes, listen to me very carefully. My mother has never laughed ever. Not a tee-hee. Never said ha. And then Jerry goes, smirk? Maybe.
Well,
it's so fucking
that
funny.
is great.
So
no,
perfect.
It's kind of funny that they're arguing about that. I feel like they would both very much agree that George's parents are 100%
No, and
crazy.
even it's written like George's examples are better.
Just-
I mean,
yeah.
sneakers in the pool is so fucking funny.
It's funny to think of the writers writing that, and also just thinking about like the actual actors and the characters and be like, oh, she's never laughed once, so we could use like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
thinking about them and then writing that. No, that bit's great.
My mother has never laughed ever. Not a tee. Never said ha. So anyways, Blair Witch Project for me, I think.
For me, I mean, I remember there was Sideways. I think I've talked about this. I watched it in theaters.
Sideways. You were like 32. That movie came out in like 2010.
I didn't go on a lot of dates in high school.
Hilarious.
For me, it was The Parasite. I can't remember the first. I remember Sideways. I remember that was a date. And then I talked about this. She started to kiss me, and I said, we're watching Sideways. And then she was like, but you've already seen it.
That's hilarious. Well, it is hurtful when you try to show somebody something and they're not into it.
Or they try to kiss you. I'm like, we're not, you know.
No, my mother did that to me during Back to the Future.
Oh, man. Shit. Well, that's a thematic, though.
Yeah.
She was just trying to give you the 5D experience.
Well, like double D.
Oh, yeah. Have I talked about how I saw First Man in the 5D?
No. What
we
the
talked
fuck's
about
5D? I never saw First Man, and I don't know any of this.
I don't know if we talk. So First Man, that movie where Ryan Gosling's fucking Louis Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong, yeah.
He goes onto the moon, you know that story? And it was in theaters, and there was 5D at Union Square. I was like, oh, what's 5D? So I go in. It's pretty cool. The chair is like moving with all the like crashes and all the shit. Like the chair, it's like a ride, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like moving a lot. But then there's a part of the movie where they have to go through that centrifugal thing to make sure they don't pass out. You know, it's like through training.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So they all go through it. Like, this is going to go through, it's going to spin, and you got to not pass out so you're ready for, to launch into space. And then the chair really starts moving. And I turned to the left of me, and there's an old lady just passed out immediately in her chair. It's like rocking around. And she was...
Was she dead?
No, she just fall asleep during that part where it's like she didn't make it through training. She was just, it was like just moving her around. I saw when she woke up, I was so wanted to be like, sorry, you can't, you're not going to be able to make it on the trip.
That's
but
fucking hilarious.
she never woke up. Yeah, it was so funny. 5D was crazy. Yeah.
I never even heard of this. Do they? Can I see like?
Yeah, they still have it. I don't know what's for a different movie. It was, dude. The chair would move, and then there'd be like smoke coming out from the ceiling. It was very bizarre. Yeah, and then at one point, it got to the point like at one point, it had nothing to do with the kids jump in a pool in one scene, and water just came down from the ceiling, like little drops of water.
I've seen stuff like that, but like the Museum of Science or whatever, like the
yeah,
dinosaur thing.
No, it was really cool. Yeah, I think they still do that.
But don't you think, I'm like, what kind of movie do you have that you need water thrown on people's face? I'm like, what is this?
But it's also the pool. It had nothing to do with like no one is watching that movie to know what it's like to jump in a pool like that. That's not the experience they're trying to capture.
I know. I'm like, I saw The Godfather in 5D. They showed weird cone tips. And then they shot my car after.
But
all right,
yeah,
I gotta wrap up.
I gotta wrap up.
You got a nap. Hey, you don't even have a show. You're going to a show.
I got a show before that, and I got like midnight spots at the Cellar. I've been talking about pegging too much on stage, and they're fucking burying me on shows now.
Oh, that's too bad.
God damn it.
All right, I got all kinds of texts and shit.
All right. Well, let's so we're going on hiatus now. So let's talk about that.
We're going a little hiatus. I'm going to, I don't know. I'm making a movie. I gotta either not release the movie or delete the podcast. I can't have both. It's just, but I do think
see how the movie goes and then make that choice.
Paul Schrader started as a film critic.
Dude,
so,
everyone, Truffaut, all the French fuckers were film critics.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know if they were like saying retard and stuff.
Fucking Billy Wilder's a fucking homo.
Right. So we'll see. So I'm going away. I'm making a sci-fi movie in Georgia, and it's gonna be great. But
what are we?
Yeah, we'll be back
because we let them know how long it's gonna be, or do you not know?
It'll be about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I think we can do it. You know, catch up on the old ones.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know the old one. Some guy was like, "You guys need to talk about The Vanishing." I'm like, "We did like 40 minutes on The Vanishing."
It's like the fuckers who are like, "When are you going to come to Alabama?" And you were just at Alabama. Literally, it's on a post where you're like, "Great time at Alabama doing comedy," and they're like, "When are you going to come to Alabama?"
And someone was like, "Is it YouTube only?" I'm like, "It's been a podcast for like 6 months."
Well, you got to spread the word because I'm in the podcast division and I don't have a lot of exposure.
Well, I'm spreading it right now. I'm spreading things all over the town. But
so
go check it out. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave a review. There's a lot of nice reviews on iTunes or whatever that's called. And subscribe to your YouTube, Raanan YouTube or whatever.
Oh, Raanan Hirschberg. Yeah, because I'm actually having my old special come out. So fucking subscribe to my YouTube because I'll have my old, and I'm gonna shoot a new special, you know. So yeah. And come see me headlining Good Nights Comedy Club in Raleigh next weekend, and then Indianapolis Helium Comedy Club the weekend after that. And then I'm doing that Doug, you know, the podcast I love.
Yes, that's going to be great. And Philly, September 23rd, 24th, 25th, I'll be at Helium. And subscribe and stay tuned for a lot more. We're not going anywhere, I promise.
We're not. Well, I mean, we are going somewhere, but we're going to be back.
Yeah, we're going. I meant in our careers.
Oh yeah, well, that's definitely true.
All right.
Night. I mean, good action. Cut. Fuck.
Damn.